Tonight, we are cutting through Rhode Island's red tape, taking a hard look at regulations that make it tougher for local workers to get a job. Rhode Island has been struggling with one of the country's worst unemployment rates for years.
So when we found rules that make people jump through hoops to start a new career, we took our findings right to one of the most powerful political leaders in the state. Steve Nielsen has that story only on Eyewitness News tonight.
Rhode Island has the third highest jobless rate in the country, with more than 40,000 people looking for work. So we took a closer look at some of the jobs those people might be seeking, and we found state rules that can make it time-consuming and expensive to earn a living. Manny Fresh has been cutting hair for more than 7 years.
Try to bring a little flavor to Rhode Island.
The way he tells it, real barber shops like his in Cranston are a dying breed.
Being a barber, it's an art form.
He blames a lot of that on how difficult it is to get a barber's license in Rhode Island. Does the licensing process discourage people from becoming a barber?
Oh yes, definitely.
According to a study by the Institute for Justice, a libertarian nonprofit, Rhode Island requires 350 days of experience and 2 exams to get a barber's license. But only 37 days of experience and the same number of exams to be an EMT. To be a bus driver, it takes 730 days of experience, 2 full years. Those are the third toughest requirements in the country. And highest of them all, HVAC contractors. They need 1,900 days of experience to get a license in Rhode Island. That's more than any other state in the U.S.
What we're trying to do is find a way to make it, I wouldn't say easier to get the license, but find a way so that there's some middle ground.
Terry Regan, owner of Regan Heating and Cooling, tells me he has job openings, but he's having a tough time finding qualified people to fill them. He says there's ways to improve the licensing process without lowering the bar. Another barrier to jobs in Rhode Island, the state's fees. $710 to be a sign language interpreter, $725 to be an auctioneer, $400 to be a security guard.
Rhode Island's economy is so difficult, and everything I feel like that the state's asking for is just money, money, money.
A lot of regulations to look at.
We took our findings to Rhode Island House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello.
I'm always troubled that we're low in the rankings and that our unemployment's high.
He said the state needs to examine whether these rules are creating obstacles for job seekers.
You want to minimize the barriers. Of course, you have to protect the health and safety of our workers, so some regulation is in fact very good, but you have to find the right balance. And sometimes I believe the perception in Rhode Island is that we've gone too far.
Governor Lincoln Chafee's office says they're already working on the problem through the Office of Regulatory Reform, which is reviewing Rhode Island's 1,642 state regulations. The group has released extensive reports, but the speaker says he's still waiting for more tangible ideas on how to reduce red tape.
Unfortunately, the work has been a little slow, but I can assure you we're looking, we're watching, and we're going to make sure that the office does the work that they're charged to do.
The Office of Regulatory Reform has posted quarterly updates on their work since 2012, and we've posted those updates on our website, WPRI.com, so you can see their work for yourself. I'm Steve Nielsen, Eyewitness News.
And we'll have some new developments in this story to tell you about tomorrow morning.
And find out how new leadership at the State House could lead to a crackdown on the Office of Regulatory Reform, whose job is to cut through Rhode Island's red tape. That's starting tomorrow on Eyewitness News this morning.
Plus, we want to hear from you. Have heavy state regulations kept you from getting a job or pursuing a career? Let us know by logging on to WPRI.com and using our Report It tab, or you can send an email to reportit@WPRI.com.